All right. I loved it. I mean, I'm optimistic about pretty much every show Marvel puts out these days. I mean, they just don't really miss these days. I have a lot of thoughts though. Give me a second to get my thoughts straight. I'll be right back. Let's just roll it. Okay, so my very first thought is that this is very clearly like a coming-of-age teen rom-com flick, which we have experience in. Homecoming is very much a grounded coming-of-age film in high school, just also with Spider-Man and Vulture and the whole superhero arc.
Same, but different. But still same.
But the director himself said that he took inspiration from a lot of old high school movies for that. And I feel a lot of inspiration in this in like modern high school movies. Like it feels a lot like Booksmart or Edge of 17, maybe a little bit of Mean Girls in there. And I kind of like that. And especially with the TV show, you know, there's a lot of fleshing out you can do with the TV show when it comes to that. The only real concern that I have, and maybe it's not even a concern, I imagine it'll be handled just fine, is I'm a little concerned about the age of Kamala. She's always been young in comics, and I say that only because I've asked friends how old she is in the comics. I'm not a comic reader. It's my biggest flaw, I understand. I'll get to it. But I rather enjoy not reading comics because it allows me and has allowed me for my entire life of these MCU movies coming out to go into them virtually blind and not understand anything, not know what's coming. Everything in WandaVision was a surprise to me. I didn't know who Agatha was.
And I killed Sparky too.
So I think I intend on going into more things without comic book knowledge. I have kind of decided with the Matt Fraction line of Hawkeye, which I've started reading, that I will read things in the past, but I will not venture into current storylines of Marvel. But anyway, that little rant out of the way. She appears to be like freshman or sophomore of age, which is like 14, 15. And in Homecoming, I believe he was 15 years old, although, you know, he never really gave off that feel of 15. Tom Holland is young, yeah, but he always seemed like upperclassman high school young, whereas Kamala and this actress, she really seems very young, and she gives off a very immature vibe about her. But I do kind of like that I'm excited to be a superhero, immature vibe. I'm just kind of going to jump into this because I don't understand the horrible realities of being a superhero that we got from her, that we also got from Kate Bishop. And it's one of the things that really, really made Kate Bishop relatable and likable as a character.
Be Hawkeye in my place.
Now that I've answered all your questions, I have so many for you. Starting with, can you sign this?
I'm not done yet.
But when you are, can you sign my bow?
Because if you think about it, in a world like this, in the MCU, with people that have grown up their entire lives around superheroes, and to her, she would have known nothing else other than superheroes with how old she is. The snap is everyday life for her. The Chitauri coming and invading Earth is everyday life for her. All of these superheroes saving the world over and over is everyday life for her. So people would aspire, especially children, to be superheroes. And they wouldn't think about the bad things about it. They would just think, oh my God, I am actually now a superhero now. Look at my superpowers. So I love the excitement about that because it makes complete sense in this world that there is literal actual chances of people becoming superheroes. So when children discover powers that they have, they're gonna go fucking bananas excited about it. I would. I also really enjoy the art style and the music of this. It's such a happy-go-lucky, cheerful trailer. It was kind of shrunk down and had like the little squiggly edges. It had all the little like comic book art, but also like scribbles inside of a textbook art that a child would do in class about it. And it really gave it that more childlike wonder vibe. I wonder if at some point it's gonna keep going along with this vibe in the show, this very happy, cheerful, everything is good, I'm just a normal everyday girl trying to get through life, and then things are gonna flip and be darker. I don't know if that'll happen, but with the direction Marvel is going, a lot of recent things have been much darker in tone, and I think they might venture into that. But I'm also kind of okay with this whole thing just being more happy and cheerful and following her doing her thing and discovering her powers, because things have been darker. When's the last time you laughed like you did in Ragnarok or Guardians of the Galaxy? And I understand that's not all of Marvel, but it has been quite a while. I mean, think back to What If. I jumped into What If thinking that it would just be a fun, happy cartoon romp. And I'd say the majority of those episodes were real fucking downers. All amazing, but real fucking downers.
I'm sorry. I am so sorry.
Now, it's very obvious that we are going to have at least a cameo from Captain Marvel in this. And I mean, obviously this is Miss Marvel, and you saw her in the Captain Marvel suit. She has cosmic powers that highly resemble Captain Marvel's powers. I imagine Captain Marvel's going to come in, she's going to take her under her wing, she's going to explain this whole thing to her. And I think that's going to be really good for Brie Larson in the Captain Marvel image, because let's be honest, the Captain Marvel movie sucked. I'm not going to mince words. It wasn't good. It wasn't good. There's really no redeemable factors about that movie. They even fucked up how Nick Fury got his missing eye or his eye patch or whatever. But it just was not a good movie. And then obviously Brie Larson had a lot of controversy surrounding her following that movie and in years prior and afterwards. So I think if she comes in here and they do some fixing of her character, make her more likable, get her better in the public eye, because she's very powerful and she's going to play a big part in the MCU in the next installments and going on into the next phase. They really need to bring around the general public to Brie Larson and Captain Marvel as a whole. And I think putting her in this, putting her next to this kid and teaching her the ways of the cosmic powers is a really good way to do it, and I hope they have great writers surrounding them in order to accomplish that. But that is a very good segue into her powers. Now, they have very clearly changed Miss Marvel's powers in this. She's typically very stretchy, and now she's very cosmic. And I think the most obvious reason behind them doing that is the fact that Reed Richards from the Fantastic Four is going to be introduced into the MCU very, very soon. And he is a much more well-known character, and everybody knows his superpowers. There's already been 3 Fantastic Four movies in the past 20 years and more prior, but we don't talk about those. I mean, come on, we barely talk about Fan Four Stick, so, you know. But anyway, Reed Richards has the same stretchy powers basically that Miss Marvel does, so it would be confusing having Miss Marvel and Reed Richards having the same power set. They did a very similar thing with Shang-Chi and the 10 Rings, whereas originally the 10 Rings were rings that were worn on fingers that allowed the Mandarin and then Shang-Chi to control the elements with said rings. I imagine they changed that because it would be confusing going from Thanos with the Infinity Stones and controlling different things with that, to then going almost directly to Shang-Chi and the Mandarin using the 10 rings. So they changed it to bracelets that just kind of did whatever the plot needed them to do. That's the easiest answer to why her powers are changed. The cosmic, I imagine, that's to bring in Captain Marvel to teach her the ways and have that make a lot of sense too. The one gripe that I'd have is in the Avengers game, Miss Marvel was a very big character within that, and I would say the introduction to her character for a lot of people that don't read the comics and are just MCU fans and picked up that video game. And within that game, she has the stretchy powers, not the cosmic powers. I think it's weird they decided to introduce her to the general public with stretchy powers and then put her in the MCU and be like, never mind, now she's got cosmic powers, but whatever, they can pull it off. And also, I really like that this is a TV show. I've been thinking a lot recently about what the best way to introduce new characters is. Because in Phase 4, we have had a plethora of new characters just thrown at us in a matter of like a year and a half. And we had all the other characters for the Avengers just drip fed to us over more than a decade. Yes, as viewers, we're more receptive to these characters and they're going crazier and more wild with the characters they're introducing, like Miss Marvel and Shang-Chi. But at the same time, you have instances like the Eternals, where they gave us all these characters, but we didn't give a shit about any of them. I remember Kingo's name, and that's it. And that's just because Kingo's awesome, and he's Kumail Nanjiani, one of my favorite actors of all time. And I've been thinking about what the best way to introduce characters is, and I got thinking back to Spider-Man, and I got thinking about Hawkeye. Spider-Man was introduced within Captain America Civil War, and he came in for a cameo, and then later on he got his own movie. And I think that was a really good way to introduce him, because he kind of got a light introduction to his character within Civil War, and then his own standalone film. But that's different in a way because everybody knows Spider-Man. We've had so many Spider-Man games, so many Spider-Man movies. Nobody needs to understand who Peter Parker and who Spider-Man is. Now, you take that scenario where they have a small bit role or cameo within a movie, and then instead of giving them a movie of their own, you do like Hawkeye did, give them a TV show. Kate Bishop was introduced within an entire TV show, which allowed for her to have so much more background and character development over the course of all those episodes rather than just one movie. So I think the best way Marvel moving forward to introduce their characters would be cameo or bit role in movie, move them onto a TV show where they star alongside or maybe a little bit above a well-known superhero within the MCU, which I believe will be Captain Marvel within this. Now we have a lot of things coming at us very quickly in the coming months from Marvel after a tiny little hiatus that we have just had, and I couldn't be more excited. And the thing is, I don't know anything about Miss Marvel. What I know about Miss Marvel, I know from the game and from what friends of mine that read the comics tell me. But this trailer alone has me so excited because I feel like it's saying, hey, did you like Homecoming? And everybody's like, yeah, of course I liked Homecoming. Homecoming was amazing. And it's like, great, you're going to love this. This is Homecoming on crack. Marvel just hasn't missed with their TV shows. Now, granted, Falcon and the Winter Soldier was almost a miss, but it did have its moments within it. Hawkeye has quickly propelled itself to one of my all-time favorite things in the entire MCU, and I don't even think I need to talk about the merits of Loki and WandaVision, and What If is all right. It's kind of its own thing. But I'm really looking forward to this in June. I'm not going to make a video on every single episode. That's not really what I do. But I can guarantee you, when this thing is over, you're going to get a long video from me about this. But thank you for watching. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe. Check out my other videos.